Trump's drone stocks will make you rich. Now we're going to evaluate these and see if they are Lambos or food stamps.
Drone order just signed is going to make the sector of drones and aerospace related stocks go absolutely bananas. And there's a huge opportunity in there for people who understand which stocks are the right ones to buy, which other ones to avoid. So I'm going to give you here.
Oh, geez, this is way too fast. I was running at 1 1/4 speed. That's way too fast.
7 stocks that I think are going
Here we go. 7 stocks.
to benefit tremendously from this. I'll also give you an ETF if you're really, really lazy. And the people who benefit the most from this are those who understand the rules of when to buy and when to sell. And there's a very simple rules that Wall Street has been using for decades. And just to give you a little incentive.
Let me guess. Masterclass? Let me guess. 60% in this video. Masterclass?
To learn those rules, I'm just going to show you what we did last month, right? And then we're going to jump into the stocks. You can see my performance for May on the chart here, and you see that most days we incur small losses. You might be like, oh no, Felix, he doesn't know what he's doing, right? And then we incur.
I feel like this is a masterclass pitch. Just get to it. Okay, there's the masterclass. Now let's get to it. Okay.
From Amazon, I hope. Is this out of LA this morning? Probably, right? Drone hunting for ICE terrorists, as they call them. Anyway, the problem with eVTOLs and the drone space generally has been this: BVLOS. Yes, the acronym is what held us up. Basically, you are allowed to fly drones when you can see them. Same applies to humans, right? But on a commercial scale as well. If you want the drone to fly somewhere where you can't see them as an operator, you need a BVLOS, Beyond Visual Line of Sight permit. Good luck with that one, right? You just haven't been able to get those. So therefore, how do you test the drones you're building if you're a drone maker? Well, it's kind of hard. Previously, the projections were that commercial eVTOLs, so commercial drones, will not be in use till 2028, till 2030. Not because the technology isn't up to it, but just because.
Okay. This is driving me crazy. This is driving me really crazy. And I'll explain why. The story behind the stocks gets a lot of people excited. That's why Felix does really well in his videos, because he likes to tell the story behind the stocks. Why Jeremy does really well, because they like to tell the story behind the stocks. But in all reality, where's my megaphone? But in all reality, the story means nothing. The story means absolutely monkey donkey, because profits follow price. If the price ain't moving up, you ain't getting paid. That's just what it's going to be. So the story is meaningless to me. Meaningless to me. Yet the YouTubers in the YouTuber space want to tell you the story, want to get you excited, want to make you feel like, oh, you are such a genius because you are listening to the story and therefore investing in the stock. And because you listened to the story and invested in the stock, it must go up, right? It should only go up. Drives me bonkers. Drives me absolutely bonkers. I will give this just another moment or two. But if I've reached my breaking point with the story, we're out of here. We're going to skip straight to his 7 stocks. His 7 Lambos or food stamp stocks.
Regulators are sitting on their great big backsides and cannot be bothered to adjust. And this drone order of El Presidente that's probably not a good joke on a day like today, right? With Mexican flags being waved around. Anyway, we're thinking that's not going to be 2026 to 2027. So we could have commercial drones delivering your Starbucks by next year. Now, that would be a step forward for humanity, wouldn't it? You'd be able to sit in that armchair, burn 0 calories, and get your donuts delivered to you. The order is also focusing on Buy American. So companies with US production lines are going to benefit. Think Archer, think Joby. We're going to run through some of those in just a second here. But essentially, Trump wants the US to be dominant in drones. And right now, to be honest with you, China is dominant in drones. I don't know whether that's going to change. But essentially, it's going to make all these kind of waivers that we need faster. And there's going to be some sort of plan to integrate drones into the national airspace system. Because think about it, drones need to communicate with the same regulators who are in charge of the planes and the helicopters and everything else that flies around up there, right? And that means,
I'm done. I can't do this anymore. Let's move on. His first stock, Archer Aviation. So please tell me how great Archer Aviation is as a company, right? Now, remember, when we are investing, when we are trading, what is our goal? Our goal as investors, our goal as traders is to make sure that we have more money in our account today than we did yesterday. And if we have less money in our account than we did yesterday, that's all right. We just need to keep those losses small. And the next opportunity we have, make sure that we let our winners run out of control and cut our losers short, right? Forget the story. Forget all the nonsense. Just tell us if the price is moving up so we can jump on board. And if the price is moving down, get out of the way. That's the objective with Lambos or food stamps. So first one here is Archer Aviation. Hopefully we don't have another 6 minutes of this. Okay.
But yeah, profit health is an F. Cash flow is okay.
Huh. All right. I don't know where you got this from. Don't really care where you got this from. I do see a typo, which is kind of funny. But looking at this little chart right here, right? This says weak. So let's go look at Archer, ACHR. ACHR. Okay, looking at Archer, let's go through our actually, let's go back to SPY. Let's go back to SPY. We need SPY first. Let's go through the Outlier 9 template. We're going to rank this from weak buy, or I'm sorry, strong buy to strong sell. And then if it's in the green, I'll give it a Lambo. Well, no, I take that back. If it's a weak buy or greater, it gets Lambo. If it's neutral or less, it gets food stamps. Even if it's right there on neutral, even if it's there, it gets Lambo. Weak buy or strong buy gets Lambo. That's the rules. This is my show. I make the rules. Okay. So first, let's look at the SPY. So the market trend right now is definitely bullish. We have the 10. Let me zoom in slightly. We have the 10 over the 20, price over the 50. So the movement of the market is still moving higher. So the trend is moving higher. Let's mark that a green. Next, the signal. The SPY is still sitting on a sell signal. And we talked just a little bit before we started here. One thing that we notice is that the SPY ETF, Fear and Greed, is continuing to move down. And the average of everything inside of the SPY is moving down as well. So this is the index itself. This is the average of everything inside of the index. Both of those are still moving down. However, market breadth is now bullish. We can see that right down there. So even though the breadth is bullish, we still see a sell signal. Still see a sell signal. So it is what it is, okay? Now, Fear and Greed for Archer in the sector. Let's go to Archer. All right, zoom in. And we can see right here, we have a buy signal as of today in Outlier. So there you go. That's off to a good start. But let's work backwards here at the sector. So we have bullish breadth on the sector. That means we're getting more buy signals than sell signals in that sector, in the industrial sector. The average heat map value in the industrial sector was coming down and has bottomed 61.64, 61.59, and now 61.69. So the average heat map value in the sector is moving up. So actually, this is looking pretty good. This is looking pretty good so far. And then breadth is also looking good. Now, let's go to the stock information itself. So the trend of the stock, you've got the 10 over 20, price over 50, and it is in a green overlay, which makes it so easy to see. So we can see right here, it's in a bullish trend. Okay. Has a buy signal as of today. And then the Fear and Greed value is pushing up. So actually, this one's looking really good. This might be a Lambo. This is definitely going to be a Lambo. I can see it coming. All right. Lastly, outlier blocks. Any outlier blocks on top of ACHR? That's a problem. That's a problem. So outlier blocks are awesome. They give you significant areas of support and resistance. And you can see right here, it's wicked up into it and it's come back down. This outlier block was based on this candle here from May 15th. So this one is actually going to be red. It really I'm telling you one thing right here. If everything lights up green and I see an outlier block, that stops me in my tracks. That absolutely stops me in my tracks. Because of that, I would not trade this stock. Now, will it push higher? I don't know. I don't have to know, right? All I have to do is follow my plan. So looking at Lambos or food stamps here, we have 7 of 9. 7 of 9 gives us a score of what? 7 divided by 9, 77%, which is actually going to put this in strong buy category. So pay respects to Felix in the chat. We got our first Lambo. We got a Lambo on ACHR. All right, is what it is. Can't control that. Is what it is. But I would not buy this even with your money because of this overhead order block right here. Now, if it can clear 1224, maybe hit 1225, now we're talking. Now we're talking. But this is an area I'm not trading. Will not trade it. Cannot trade it. That violates my plan. So let's give him just a moment just to say how great Archer is, because it was a Lambo. So I'm gonna let him have his moment in the sun.
So what's this is Archer, right? So what's the deal here? Well, they got partnerships with United Airlines, Stellantis. They got a $142 million contract with the U.S. Air Force. That's one reason I really like them for. They also work with Anduril. And they got $1 billion in cash. I like
$1 billion. That goes way back.
Startups with $1 billion in cash. You know why? They're not going to go belly up in the next couple of days because they got $1 billion freaking dollars in cash. So that's pretty good. Is it cheap? No. But let's have a look at the stock chart.
I don't know. $12 is pretty cheap to me. $11 is really cheap to me. I am a snob and I only trade stocks that are greater than $20. So I don't know where he's basing that on.
You're going to do that for each stock. You can, of course, jump around, but you are going to miss the sort of thread in the connecting tissue here. Here is Archer Aviation, and I've drawn in this box here, this one here, because this sort of connects the highs. It's kind of the resistance zone. And
I'm curious how this matches up with our outlier block. So this looks like at the beginning of 2025. That was right around here. Okay. Let's draw a couple lines here real quick. So basically this area is what he's talking about right here. Okay, I could get on with that. My order block area is just slightly higher than that, but I can get on with this.
As I'm recording this, it looks like we're bouncing up back into that zone. Does that mean it's too late to buy? No, I don't see that personally. I think the higher it goes, the more I'll buy, honestly. If we take out...
Okay, that I can get on with, right? Buying more into strength, buying higher and sell it. Buy high and sell higher. Yeah, that's how it's done. I mean, Felix actually has solid trading principles to go with. Even though he talks about the story, he does actually have solid trading principles.
These highs here, these ones, and these ones sort of between $10 and $11, and then ultimately, hopefully, the one up here, which was at 1333, I'm going to buy more of it. That doesn't mean you should. You need to have your own rules and risk management. And as I say, I give you my...
Look at that. I think Felix listens to our channel now. He's telling everybody to listen to your own rules and risk management. When's the last time you heard a YouTuber besides me talk about follow your own plan? Huh.
Free, felixfriends.org/get free. And then this will all make a heck of a lot more sense. But this is starting to look very, 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 did I say very? Exciting. What about Joby?
All right. So not bad. Not bad on the first one.
It's always talking about Joby, right? Joby Aviation, financials here. Again, no profits.
All right. Let's go. Remember, all of these fundamentals mean nothing. These fundamentals mean nothing. And I know you're probably watching this and you're like, first off, who the hell is this guy? Who in the wide world of sports is this random guy on the internet? Well, my name is Christopher Ewell. I've twice been awarded. Oh, wait a minute. I skipped a slide. Oh, there it is. I've twice been awarded top 100 people in finance. I was mentored by 5 of the market wizards, the best traders of all time. I've been successfully trading since 2009, and this is where outliers like us save time, make money, and start winning with less risk together as a team. So go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already. Now, with that out of the way, fundamentals are useless. This is dumb. Fundamentals come out 4 times a year. So what are we doing with the other 99% of the time? Basing it on these numbers? Who cares? Who cares? Now, Felix, it seems like Felix understands the game. Felix understands the game that even though these look pretty bad on paper, right? Imagine you're in 4th grade and you brought this report card home to your mom. How do you think your mom's going to feel, right? Your math class, you got an F. Your English class, you got a D. Your gym class, you got a B because you're not getting an A in anything, not even gym class. And your history class, you got an F. Your mom would smack you across the face and say, "What's wrong with you? Why are you so dumb?" Right? Now, looking at this, why are you so dumb, Joby? Okay. Now let's go look at the Joby chart. Joby chart. Is it Joby? Is it Joby? I have no idea. Joby. Look at that. This is not that bad, actually. So let's go run the outlier 9 and see just how dumb Joby is. So the market won't change. This is going to stay the same. I assume this is going to be in the industrial sector. I don't know. This is also in the industrial sector. Okay. Charlotte says, I would be toast. I know, right? All right. The industrial sector. So nothing's going to change in this part here. So this stays the same and this stays the same. Now, the last 30% of the slingshot setup is due to the stock itself. So we have, oh man, Joby's looking pretty sharp too. We have a 10 over 20, price over 50, bullish trend. We have a buy signal as of today. You're welcome. Enjoy that buy signal for free. And the fear and greed bottomed just yesterday and is now moving back up. So, oof, Joby looks good too. Joby looks good too. Now, let's look at outlier blocks on Joby. Let's look at outlier blocks on Joby. Here's actually something pretty cool. This close above this price here at 918. So it closed at 923. This outlier block should basically end right here. It'll look something like this. So later on today, I assume when the next candle's built that this will end, which is a good sign. Now it's got one up ahead at 1031. My rule of thumb is 2% or more. If I can do 2% or more, then I'm good for it. And this is 11.6% ahead. I actually really like this chart. Joby is a real big Lambo to me. We have 8 of 9. 8 of 9, what's that percent? 8 divided by 9. 88.8888888. So Joby is a strong buy to me. Lambos for Joby. Can you believe that? We've got 2. Now, let's go back. Just go back one cotton picking minute here, right? If you are a fundamental investor, you're looking at the stock thinking, what a piece of garbage. What a failure. I wouldn't buy that with your money. Then you look at the chart, which is the other 99% of the time, and you're like, oh, wait a minute. This chart actually looks really strong. Look at this bullish trend. Just beat through this order block here, which is resistance. Look at how much resistance it had. Multiple days fighting with it. Boom, just crossed over. This looks really good. Plus you got a buy signal. Plus the sector looks good. Plus the market is nearly there, right? This actually looks really sharp. That's the difference. That is the difference between somebody who's going to make money in the market versus somebody who's going to sit on the sidelines and say, no, it's not that good. It's not that good. Somebody's going to make a lot of money on Joby thanks to this video. You're welcome, because Joby is a very strong buy. Not all outlier 9. And for me, I need all outlier 9 to trade, but you could trade this and it might end up really great. So Joby actually brilliant.
No.
Oh, good point. I wouldn't. It's too cheap. It's too cheap for a snob like me. $20 or more.
Growth. There's no value. Terrible. Don't buy it. Don't touch it. It'll make you, that kind of thing. Risk allocation is key here when you invest in startups. In this whole eVTOL drone space, like in any other startup space, 9 out of 10 companies will go out of business, right? Talk to people who invested into Plug or into any of those early EV companies. Most of them are crying. So don't go all in on one stock, which is why I'm also going to give you an ETF.
Risk management, of course. Now let's do this. Let's position size together. Hold tight. Let's position size together using our position sizing spreadsheet. How would we, in fact, let's do this. What was the last one? ACHR and then Joby, right? Let's do some real breakdowns here. Right? Is that okay? Is it okay if I over deliver and make this like the most useful video of all time for you? And you're not going to have to go to a master class or anything. It's literally for free here on YouTube. I hope that's okay. If you don't mind, if that being okay, do me a favor and type just type outlier in the chat. OVTLYR in the chat. You're in the right place. All right. So account balance. Imagine that your account balance is 100K. Imagine that you want to risk 5% per trade. And imagine that we go to the 80 delta. So let's jump into the options chain. Let's go first to Archer, ACHR. I'll show you where I would be interested. I would be interested. So I like to trade 21 days to expiration. So I would put me probably right here, July 3rd. There's a decent amount of volume, not so much. I like over 250 open interest at the 80 delta, which hits it right there. Hits it right there on the 9.5 strike. Blech. That's too cheap for me. But That's where I would be trading this. If I were to be trading it, I'm not. So there you go. There's your disclaimer. I'm not trading this. If I were to be trading this, I'd be looking at the 9.5 strike on Archer, which is roughly the 80 delta. And let's say that this is my account size, and this is $2.26. $2.26. That would give me 34% position size in Archer on my portfolio if I were trading long stock. Or if I were in options, 8.59% position size. So if I were trading stock, I'd be buying 3,100 shares. Now, that's this number too. That's not my numbers. Or option size of 38. There you go. We're teaching you something here. Let's go to the next one, Joby. Oh, you know what? I didn't calculate extrinsic value. Thank you, Luke, for pointing that out. Let's go back. I should have it right here. Yeah. Let's calculate extrinsic value because I like my extrinsic value to be roughly 20% or less. So looking at the extrinsic value. Now the market's not open yet, so this will change a lot. 38 cents on 226. 38 divided by 226 is 12%. That'll work. Let's go back to Joby. July 3rd still. Not as much open interest over here. Let's move over one more open interest here. So I started 21 days. This is 23, so it's close enough. Then I'll look one sooner. I'll look one later. If I don't see anything here, I might go one further out, but I don't want to go any closer. That's too close for me. So let's look at the 8 call. Good gravy. This is like babies over here. The 8 call puts you around the 80 delta, 438 open interest, and let's see, $1.50. 150 with the extrinsic value of 22 cents gives me 14% extrinsic value. So if I were to buy this, I'd be looking at the 8 strike, which I would not buy, but let's say it was $1.50. So that would be about 3,700 shares or 47 options at $1.50. So if you were buying options, that would only be 7% of your account size using this over here. Isn't that cool? Right? Yeah, that is actually, this is not bad. I mean, so far so good. Carlos says, first off, Carlos is a Harley Davidson dude. I love it. I used to have a Sportster that my parents bought me my mom and dad watch. Hey mom. Hey Nana and Grandpa. The craziest thing they ever did. I still cannot. As an adult now with a 13-year-old and a 10-year-old, I look at the situation. I'm like, what in the wide world of sports were they thinking? So as a graduation present from high school, my parents bought me an 883 Sportster. And I loved that thing. I drove the mess out of it. Every chance I had an opportunity to go drive it, I would. I remember one time, so we live in Texas, it doesn't get all that cold that often, but it was like 12-degree weather. And I'm like, I'm going out. So I bundled up all the way. I double gloved it. And I remember at one point I had to pull over and just stick my gloved hands on the motor to unfreeze them because I was like having the best time of my life riding the motorcycle around. Totally off topic. Carlos, you are awesome. I feel like there should be a university of itty bitty baby steps for the market out there. You're not alone in wanting a step-by-step, no jargon introduction that actually makes sense. Did you mention something about a university? Huh. Wait, what's this?
Are you ready? Let's go!
Respect is earned. Respect is never given.
As Michael would say down here, Felix gets it. He's just so hard to listen to, and he doesn't hold a candle to Outlier University, which is live every Tuesday and Thursday afternoon. We are actually going 30 minutes earlier today because I got to bounce out to Boy Scout camp this afternoon, but it's going to be great. Outlier University, I'm teaching you literally every single thing from start to finish. Now, a lot of people want to show up and be like, oh, just tell me what to do. That's not how the game is played, right? I don't know how many weeks we're in at this point, and we have yet to buy a stock. We're talking about mindset. We're talking about psychology. We're talking about trend following. We're talking about everything you need to know to get there, right? If you just want like, here, do this and do that, you're never going to survive. But if you actually want the step-by-step guidance and how to make money in the market that actually works, come to Outlier University. And university tuition, we have a money back guarantee on the university tuition because it's free. I'm teaching you every single thing that I know on the internet for free here on YouTube. So I hope that's okay. All right, let's go to the next Felix stock here. I'm actually enjoying this one. I'm actually enjoying this video here. Let's go see what he's marking up on the charts.
And can you see the resistance zone? I'll draw a little box for you here. So basically, that zone here, right? That was where we got stuck. You extend that zone, and that's still where you're stuck, right?
All right, so he's drawing a box from roughly late November, it looks like on the chart. Let's go do the same. Late November puts it about right here. So he's drawing, I don't know. I don't like to draw on charts. I like to use data, and the data populates on here for me, so it makes my life a lot easier. He's drawing this area, it looks like, from roughly 750 or so. 750, yeah. So roughly there. Oh, hang on, I have a box tool. Roughly there to there, it looks like. Now, as you can see, I like my boxes all the same color, so it's not all that great to see. But he's drawing this area, it looks like, and it did break higher through that, which is exactly what you want to see. So I'm still ultra bullish on Joby.
We're still in the middle of that, so we actually haven't broken out.
Oh, wait a minute. What's he drawing that to? What's the top of that candle? Oh, hang on. Top of that candle, it looks like. So, okay, on his charts, he's not quite broken out. On my charts, we are. Doesn't matter. It's still ultra bullish.
We're not too late. We're probably still a bit early because we might want to go above the sort of 930, 940 up here to peak out of that. And then that's what I'm seeing. I'm still seeing the opportunity very much alive. So how do these resistance zones work? Well, all the guys who bought over here, a lot of them, if they haven't watched this video, they're just not watching the news, they're selling when we get to here. Why? Because people like to sell at
yep. That's this is exactly precisely. I agree completely that people are selling right here. This is when the investors. This is actually a really good video. I'm enjoying this. If you're enjoying this, type the word enjoy in the chat. Enjoy. I'm enjoying this video. So when they see the area right here where they're finally back to break even, where they've been underwater for how many months, right? From January to June, they've been underwater, and they finally are catching a break, finally are getting back to break even. That's why these areas exist. That's why this resistance exists right here, is because people are trying to get out. They finally are able to get out, and the buyers are actually overwhelming the sellers at that point. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. All right, let's keep on going here.
zero, which is like just one of these emotional things that makes no sense, which is again why we automate all of our risk management and all of our profit taking. You can learn that in the free masterclass. That's only 15 minutes
Masterclass.
long if you want to learn that. But yeah, so to me, this looks good. Again, I'm going to start nibbling. I'm going to nibble a little harder when we get out of the resistance zone up here, because at that point, Joby will be free to fly.
Okay, to that point, even though it was kind of weird, the free to fly thing is very, very true. So one of my mentors, Mark Minervini, taught me about how buying stocks that hit all-time highs, or at least 52-week highs, we're really close to that point. That's around 1076. That is so bullish. And the reason being is that if it reaches over this area, it could, right? It's going to have some resistance here. Oh, it can't be all-time highs because we have overhead order blocks, but at least 52-week highs. If it breaches that, gets to a point where it's moving higher, people are happy, right? So basically anybody who bought this stock in the last year is making money. That is more people who get excited, right? More people who are going to go out and tell their friends, their golf buddies, everybody else, hey, this stock is awesome. It's pushing higher. All-time highs, 52-week highs are bullish. And anybody who tells you otherwise is absolutely wrong. They don't know how the game is played.
The next one is Draganfly. And I thought we misspelled that. Did we misspell that? No, we didn't. It's weird, isn't it? It's not Dragonfly. It's Draganfly. Maybe there is some
Drag and fly. Okay. I don't know the stock ticker for Draganfly. We'll have to find that out. But another terrible report card. If your mama would let you walk in the door and show you this report card and she'd be saying, "Oh, I'm so proud of you, honey." We grew up in very different households. We grew up in very different households. If I walked in the door and I got a C in math, an F in English, I got no grade in gym class because I skipped it, a D in history, and a C in I don't even know what a class is anymore. What classes are there? There's math, history, science. Got a C in science class, bro. Like, it would be game over. I would be grounded until the next time I got a report card. This is terrible. This is terrible. But what is Draganfly? Can I just type the word Draganfly? D Pro. Okay, let's go look at D Pro. Gene nailed it on the head. D Pro. Oh, we may not cover D Pro. Hang on. D Pro. No, we don't cover D Pro. So I won't be able to do a full breakdown on D Pro, but I'll give you my best analysis on the stock itself. So in Outlier, we cover 2,600 stocks. Hang on, where's my slide? There we go. We cover 2,600 stocks. But there are stocks that are not included in that list, and we're adding more and more all the time. So even though it's not there now, it might be there in just a few weeks. So D Pro, taking a look at this. Now, I assume that this is still in the industrial sector, so I'll give it that. The trend is moving higher. The trend 10 over 20, price over 50 is moving higher. And as you can see this morning, it's pushing up high. It's a $4 stock. Good gravy. I wouldn't even be interested. I wouldn't buy a $4 stock with your money. Look, here's the deal. Why am I such a snob with stocks? If people want to own it, that pushes the price up higher. If you're looking at a stock that's $10 or less, $20 or less, that's basically the market giving you, like, take 2 steps back and say, wait a minute, if Tesla is $300, if Nvidia is $200, if Apple's whatever hundreds of dollars, right? Those are great companies. Why do I care about a stock that is, 1/100th in value as Tesla? 1/100th in value, 1/50th in value of Nvidia, right? Big picture here, that's a stock people don't want to own. That's why Chris is such a snob. Right? That's why Chris is such a snob. Back to this. So this is probably still in the industrial sector, I would imagine. So the market and the sector are going to say the same. The trend, we can identify that, but the signal of fear and greed, I can't identify, unfortunately. So I'll give them the benefit of the doubt, and say that it has a buy signal with increasing greed. And look at this one take off. How much is this? It's up 25% today. Whoa. Okay. This is definitely a Lambo for me. Definitely a Lambo. So Lambo or D Pro. All right, let's go look at the option chain on D Pro. D Pro. There's not an option chain on D Pro. Okay, that's fine. So we'll have to just buy stock of D Pro. DPRO. D Pro. Okay. So if you were following these metrics here, you could buy 9,200 shares. 9,200 shares, which would be about 38% of your portfolio. We don't have an options chain to look at that I can see. So because of that, we would not be pricing any options on here. That's all right. Still pretty good. Felix is 3 for 3. Crazy, right? 3 for 3. Let's go to the next one.
Reason for that. Anyway, they're not making a hole again, and you would have.
We're still on Draganfly, but I want to see his chart analysis here.
Only missed out 6 years of gains in the stock market, so you will only be really, really poor. Actually, sorry, it went way higher. It actually started up there, so it's down.
Ness, no way. It's down 97% from 2022. What a crap company. Okay, exactly what I'm talking about earlier. And Carol asked about shares outstanding. Good point, Carol. But looking at this, right? This is a company people want to own. This is a company nobody wants to own, right? We can see this on the chart right here, right? Very, very different. Very different setup over here versus over here.
97%. And why is that a good thing? Because they're still alive, they're still around. But actually, we don't like the drop, right? So obviously, we wouldn't have been in that. But we like these extended periods of nothingness, because this means people get shaken out. You're down 97%. It's very likely you've lost 97% of the people who ever wanted to sell this thing. And then you get into a zone where you start to consolidate, right? And once you're in that zone, once you start breaking out of that zone, things get a little bit more interesting. And the way I would look at that here would be just connect the highs to a line down there. I explain this a bit more detail in the masterclass if you're going to watch that. And you sort of see what the trend is. And you see this very, very beautiful textbook pattern that is made Wall Street.
I don't know what he's going to draw, but I don't like upside down triangle staircase cheesecake bullflag pennants. Okay. I don't like patterns. Patterns aren't data. Data is replicatable. Data is real. Patterns are 9-year-olds drawing on charts. 9-year-olds with a new fresh marker drawing on charts.
Made money for about 5 decades, and we're breaking out of this here, right? So we broke out of it here.
Right. Again, if I were drawing charts, why not draw it there somewhere else, right? I am such a cynic when it comes to chart drawing, right? Imagine, why didn't you draw right there, Felix? Why didn't you draw it there? Why didn't you draw it there? Why didn't you draw it there? Why didn't you draw it here? Right? So, drawing patterns is the most subjective thing in all of stock trading, right? Oh, it should have gone up from here, right? Because look, it touched here and here and here. Who cares? Moving averages are data. The order blocks show you where turns in the market happen, which are data. That's what matters. That's what matters. We have very different styles in that regard. Let's move on. We've taken far too long in this video, but I'm really enjoying it. I hope you are too. Let's go to this report card here. Oof. Financial health of UMAC, unusual machines, CADCF. This looks terrible. So let's go to UMAC, an outlier, see if we have this one. UMAC. Unfortunately, we don't cover UMAC either. That's all right. Now, the reason we don't cover that is we don't have enough data. There's not enough data to go back in time on UMAC. Like, look, this is from February of 2024. We need years of data inside of Outlier, and we just don't have that much data yet. That's why it's not there. But again, I assume that this is in the industrial sector. So the market's not going to change. The sector's not going to change. The trend, definitely bullish, right? Now, here's a difference in Felix and these other jokers on YouTube, right? Felix understands how the market works, right? He's not looking at a stock that's crashing down saying, oh, it's a great time to buy. If you don't buy here, you're going to miss out on all these gains. No. He gets trend following. And trend following is where it's moving up higher, buying high, selling higher. That's not what we're taught. 90% of traders lose 90% of their accounts in the first 90 days of trading because they think in that way. I need to buy a stock that's going down in value so I can make so much money, right? You buy low and sell high. These successful traders, the ones that actually stay in the market, are the ones that do the opposite of what everybody else does. Buy high, sell higher. Sounds crazy, but that's legitimately the only way you're going to make money. Now, let's look at it on this side, right? If you're going to buy low, sure, sounds good. But where was low? Was low, at 50 cents? Or was low at 438 and then you sold higher? Do you get it here? It's relative. It's relative. But when it's trending higher, bro, now we're talking. So back to this. I can only assume all this is true. Let's check out outlier blocks here. It's got plenty of room until the next outlier block. Another Lambo for UMAC. Can't believe it. Let's go see if I would have any options to choose from here. Ugh, not much to choose from. So I'd go to the 38 days out, July 18th. The 80 delta is the 750, and that's 60 cents on 320. 1875 in extrinsic value. I can live with that. So I would actually be interested in that one right there. So that's the UMAC for 310. UMAC. Dude, he's 4 for 4. I don't know if we're going to get through all 7. We're going to have to bust through these. This is taking far too long. 11% of my portfolio if I were trading it like this. So this is really cool, right? Because this is taking forever. It's mostly me. Let's bust through these. Gogo. Is that, did we cover Gogo? Yes, we do. In the communications sector. So different sector here. Okay, different setup as well. The sector is getting more greedy, bullish breadth. So that's good. Here we go. Now let's look at the trend, bullish trend with the sell signal, however, and getting less greedy. So signal is red, fear and greed, red, and any outlier blocks on top of Gogo? No, it's clear up there. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of 9. That's 66%. So that's going to put us at a weak buy on Gogo. So that would still be a Lambo. Lambo's a Gogo. Lambo for Gogo. Man, interesting. Felix is killing it. Felix is killing it. All right. So any option chain that we would do for Gogo? Not enough liquidity for me. So Chris wouldn't be interested in buying those with like barely any liquidity. So if we were to look at stock, my position size following this information over here would be 3,800 shares, which would be 45% of the portfolio. So here's the deal. You can see the difference here. Portfolio size, 34% using stock versus 8% with options. This is why I trade options, because you can have roughly the same, you can have equivalency in stock size to the option size and pay significantly less. So if you took 1, 2, 3 of these, that's 99.77% of your account in these 3 here. Or you took 1, 2, 3 of these, that's 26% of your account. 26% of your account. Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? I love options. All right, let's push forward here. We looked at Gogo. Walmart. Oh, Walmart's interesting. Okay. Walmart for drones, I guess you could say so. In the staples sector. Let's zoom in. All right, so Walmart has a sell signal. It's getting less greedy. The sector is getting less greedy. And the sector breadth is actually bearish. So Walmart's going to look very different. So this is red. This is red. The trend is still... Ooh, I don't know. Let's double check that right now. It's still bullish trend. Got outlier blocks on both sides of it. So that's going to be red. The trend's still green. Signal sell, fear and greed sell. 1, 2, 3. So this is not a Lambo. 3 of 9 gives us 33%. That gives us a weak sell. So we got a food stamps for Walmart. Food stamps for Walmart. I guess that makes sense, right? You could spend your food stamps at Walmart. There you go. Food stamps for Walmart. Huh. Wait a minute. If only someone added some code to that slingshot set of PowerPoint that calculated the result. Look, Deep Thought, I know you're a freaking genius, but I am not. I have not actually looked at my DMs. I saw you earlier say, look at your DMs. By the way, I will never DM anybody. Never. If you see somebody with my face and my picture saying, hey, I'll trade your money for you. Hey, go put it in this shady brokerage account. Hey, let's DM and talk about it. It's not me. It's never me. And this is the reason why I don't DM people, right? So if you ever see anything like that, it is a scam. Run away. It's not me. We had an issue with somebody this week, and I'm really sorry that that happened to them. But I mean, like we are trying our very best to let y'all know, do not communicate with anybody via DMs if it looks like me, because it ain't me. So Walmart doesn't have a lot of liquidity on this strike. Let's go over here. There's more over here, but not enough. Maybe. Okay, I would actually be interested in the 87 Delta. That has 46 extrinsic value on 745 price. I can live with that one here. 231 is good enough for me when I have that little extrinsic value to pay. So this is the Walmart 91. Oh, wait a minute. I wouldn't be buying this anyway. This is a food stamps. What am I doing here? What am I doing here? Let's finish this out. Let's finish this out here. Amazon. Yeah, of course you can buy drones on Amazon. Amazon. Wait a minute. Did Skinny Buff Guy just teach me a little math fact? You can multiply the number that are green by 11. Hold on. So you're saying 4 out of 9. Hold on. We're about to do this. 4 divided by 9 is 44%. Okay. 5 divided by 9 is 55%. Okay. 6 divided by 9 is 66%. 7 divided by 9 is 77%. 8 divided by 9 is 88. Well, how about that? And just add a 1 to it. That's close enough. How about that? Thanks a lot, Skinny Buff Guy. Making me seem like I don't know what I'm talking about. All right, we have bullish breadth, slightly less fear and greed. Slightly less fear and greed. So bullish breadth. And the stock's in a bullish trend with a buy signal. It just came through today. You're welcome. Enjoy that. Green signal, green trend. Fear and greed on Amazon. Slightly less. Slightly less. Outlier blocks on Amazon is going to put us where? Oh, no outlier blocks in the way. So that's going to give us another green. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is 60 something. 66, I guess. 66 puts us right here in the weak buy category. So this is another Lambo. Walmart is a Lambo. Dude, I'm not upset. I'm not upset. Wait, that wasn't Walmart. That was Amazon. No, Walmart's a food stamp. Walmart is a food stamp. My bad. Amazon. Hang on. It's not posted yet. There it goes. Amazon is a Lambo. Totally my bad. Okay. Let's look over here. Amazon. And if we were to trade the Amazon chain, by the way, all of this is for free on YouTube. Not a single masterclass in sight. Liquidity is not super great. I could live with this one. I could live with this one here. Ooh, expensive though, nearly 20 bucks and super wide on the bid-ask spread. But to keep everything fair, let's continue on. 83 delta. So the 200 strike around 1975 in cost. Amazon 1975. So 9% of your portfolio or 100% of your portfolio. You choose. 100% using stock or 9% using options. You choose. You choose. All right. I think we have one more. Yes. XAR. XAR. Let's see if we cover XAR. 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 Here we go. Let's zoom in. XAR, buy signal. Oh, this is an ETF, so it's going to look a little different. Buy signal. The average of everything in the ETF is growing. Average of everything in this ETF has bullish breadth. However, the ETF index itself has bearish fear and greed. So fear and greed on the index. So these will both be green. The trend, bullish, buy signal, but fear and greed is going down. Okay. Any outlier blocks above XAR? Let's go see. No, looking clear. So this is basically the same. So another weak buy. Another XAR is a Lambo. Lambo. There we go. XAR is a Lambo. So that puts us... Dude, Felix actually killed it on these, right? Usually there are all kinds of hot garbage. XAR. But, dude, he gets 6 out of 7. 6 out of 7 are Lambos. That is so unusual. But I'm really happy for Felix telling people about that. Good job, him. XAR. 38 days out, 80-ish. Oh, there's no liquidity here. I wouldn't be buying any options on that. So I'd be sticking with stock 718, following this over here, which puts you 143%, which is impossible, which is why options are awesome. So listen, actually, Felix killed it today. Very unusual to see one this good, but I'm really happy. This was a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed it too. And of course, if you are ready to save time, make money, and start winning with less risk, click one of these 2 videos. And we will talk soon.